I am Sandra Betters, the principal of Our Lady of Mercy Academy in Syosset, New York. Hopefully by now you've had a chance to watch our comprehensive video, our virtual open house. Followed by that are 3 videos, one directed towards academics, one that talks all about getting involved here at Mercy, and then followed by next steps for admissions. Today I'm very fortunate to be joined by many of my colleagues who are going to share in this panel discussion. If you, your family, your daughter has questions, today we are utilizing the chat box. We have Ms. Schmidt with us today who is reading the questions to us from your chat box, so please do that. Also, if you're finding that you have tried to sign up for tours and the tours are full, not to worry, we are fixing that right now. So I'm going to start with some introductions. First, I'd like to introduce the President of Our Lady of Mercy Academy, Ms. Mayan. Next to her today, we have Sister Megan McCardle, our Assistant Principal. We also have with us today Director of Athletics, Dawn Cerrone. Next to her today is our Chairperson of the Wellness Department, Gina Mastrodi. And then finally, next to her is Nick Posner, our Math Department Chairperson. Over on the other side of our room today, we're super lucky to be joined by 2 of our students. We have Emma Martins with us from the class of 2023 and Gianna Torgerson from the class of 2024. And finally, someone you may have already met, Ms. Catherine Hackett, our Director of Recruitment and Retention. So please, again, if you have questions, things you want to learn more about Mercy after watching our videos, please put those questions in the chat, and we are happy to address them. While we're waiting for some questions, we do have some questions of our own that we're going to share with our community. Our first question today is a fun question, and it talks about if you are at Mercy, what is something you get to do at Mercy that only happens at Mercy? So I'm going to start this question with, again, someone you may already know, Ms. Hackett.
Something that you can only do at Mercy is experience a high school classroom on a 90-acre campus. So we are blessed to be surrounded by so many trees and outdoor spaces, a pond, a lot of beautiful religious statues. So our classroom experience this year more than ever has expanded throughout the campus. And then I also would love to share this question with these lovely ladies who are living and breathing the Mercy experience right now. So Gianna, would you like to start first?
Yes, well, first going off what Ms. Hackett said, I run cross country and I get to experience the beautiful campus every day, and it's so serene and so beautiful, especially after a long day of school, just getting to relax. Or if you're not involved in a sport, you can go and walk around the campus, and it's so pretty. And one of my favorite things that is only at Our Lady of Mercy would have to be sports night. I am on the exercise team, and there's so many different other teams and opportunities to also get involved. And it's really a great community, and we build each other up during it, and everyone is so happy together, and the performances are so beautiful.
Okay, we have a question for Ms. Betters. How do the girls decide on their track?
On their track. So I am going to take the leap that the question means academic track. So absolutely, I'm going to answer this question. I will also tell the individual who asked this great question, it's a great question specifically here at Mercy, that in our academic video that is linked, there's a lot of conversation around tracking. Here at Mercy, we don't track. And it's a really conscientious choice we make as a private Catholic school. We get to look at our students' needs, whether she is strong in one particular subject or needs more support in a different subject. We do not put a child on a track and kind of set out their 4-year journey before they even start here at Mercy. That's really not great education practice. So what we do is obviously the entrance exam, and then we have some placement exams here at Mercy where we take a look at math, we take a little look at writing, and then finally world language if a child decides to take that test. And we make sure that we're really setting up each girl for success. The last thing we want to do amidst a really big transition from middle school to high school is bring anxiety. Put a child in a placement that's not appropriate. The important thing to remember is wherever a student starts freshman year, she gets to make many choices. If she wants to be working towards an honors class the next year or an AP class, we share with students what has to happen, what prerequisites in terms of grades have to happen to make that a reality. But also likewise, we have students that come in and start, say, in 3 honors classes because they believe that's what they're supposed to be doing as students. And as they experience their freshman year, they realize that that might not be the best plan. And so they look at what they did really well in, they stay in those honors classes, and they move to a Regents level class in one of the particular classes. So it's something that we're very careful with, and we make sure that students are in the best places that they need to be in. And then each year as we do our course selection, we do the same thing. I'm not sure if Ms. Mistrodi, our chairperson of wellness, has anything to add to that.
What I would add to that is that we really focus on creating the best schedule possible for your daughter, and each student needs. So it's not that we just blanketly place students where we feel they should be. It's based on what the student needs are, feedback from teachers. It's really kind of collaborative to place that student where they will be most successful.
Our next question is for Sister Megan. Does the school provide students with laptops?
Well, good morning. At this time, no, the students do not receive laptops from us. We let the students bring their own devices to school so that whatever they're comfortable with, if they prefer a Mac versus a Chromebook versus an iPad or whatever it may be. We do this really just since the COVID-19 situation. Computers are usually used just as a supplement. We have primary sources in the building themselves. We don't recommend a cell phone because it's just too tiny, but the students bring whatever device they are comfortable with.
Our next question is for Ms. Cerrone. Can you tell me more about the Equestrian Club?
Well, the Equestrian Club is a program that we run here, and I know that our advisor of that particular club is extremely versed in the equestrian world, and that would be one of our science teachers. And she's actually fabulous, a graduate of Our Lady of Mercy with a tremendous amount of experience in equestrian.
So we definitely are anticipating more questions around clubs, but just to let parents and students who are interested to know, there are 2 seasons for our Equestrian Club. We have a fall season and a spring season. This season, there will not be a fall season just in this particular year, but we are really looking forward to our spring season. This particular club does have what we would call a lab fee, a small fee that goes along to the stables, looking across Long Island to get a wonderful break, and it's about 6 to 8 lessons depending on the weather. You do not need to have any experience riding horses to join our club. Safety is definitely the #1 priority, so you will have a helmet. For the girls who travel to Equestrian Club, and Ms. Ross love Equestrian Club, for sure.
Our next question is for Ms. Hackett. This has to do with our entrance exam. Because I'm taking the tax, I don't have to apply for any additional scholarships?
That's a great question. And there's actually a number of things I'd like to touch upon since you brought up this very important and popular topic. So yes, you are correct that if you are taking the entrance exam, which everyone needs to take if they would like to attend a Catholic high school on Long Island, especially if you'd like to attend Mercy. And so when you take that entrance exam, we will automatically consider you for scholarships based on your performance on that overarching exam that all of our applicants take. If you would like to, however, apply for financial aid based on your family's ability to pay tuition or some of our Mercy-based awards, all of those are explained on our website. So you can go back to the admissions portal, and on the left-hand side of the navigation bar, there's a tab for tuition, scholarships, financial aid, and awards. and there's an intent to apply for any of those things. So if you are following in your family's footsteps like I did when I came to Mercy, and you have a big sister or a mom or someone else in your family who attended here, you can let us know that. If you're hoping to apply for financial aid or one of our awards, please fill out that intent to apply form, just so we can follow up with you if we're missing any documents on your applications. But yes, you do not need to apply for scholarships specifically. And then on the note for clubs, we did link a club brochure. So if you have any particular questions about other clubs, you can actually see who the moderator is and the description of the club, and that can get you excited about, you know, what to ask about during one of our Mercy virtual panels that will be coming up next week and the week after.
One more for you, Ms. Hackett. How important is listing the order of your top 3 schools on the tax exam?
That's a great question, and I feel so popular today. I'm happy to help with these great questions. So while we do, you know, we could take into consideration all the girls that apply on the entrance exam. So if you are going to succeed at Mercy, you will be accepted no matter which, you know, order you put us on your exam. But it is important to take a step back and really think about, where would I feel most at home for the next 4 years? It's a very big decision. It's not one to stress over, but it's one to take, you know, not take lightly, right? So we want to make sure that you're going to be happy wherever you are. So, and it also affects how we consider those merit scholarships. So it is important to list, you know, in the best order that you can. Think about where you might be happiest at in high school, but you will be accepted to Mercy no matter which order, provided that you will be successful here.
Sister Megan, will we continue to use the outside campus? It looked great on the video.
It does, doesn't it? It definitely looks beautiful outside. You know, we did use this opportunity this year to utilize the campus more than we ever have before. With the great success we're having, I think we probably will continue to use it in its own unique way.
Ms. Mastrodi, can students take music and art electives, or do they need to choose?
Depending on where they are in their high school career, they can choose to take both music and art electives, yes.
One more for you, Ms. Mastrodi. We understand that French will not be included in the 2021-2022 language choices. Can you share what other languages will be available?
Sure, so we have Italian and Spanish to choose from.
Great, so I just wanted to follow up with Ms. Mastrodi. We also have an opportunity for online Latin for some of our students. So we have plenty of languages to fit the Regents requirement. Our requirement's a little bit more here at Mercy, but we have 3 languages to choose from depending on a student's needs. If a student's experienced in world language, we definitely recommend that she takes a placement exam, because that will determine whether or not she starts at the first level of the language or the second level.
Mr. Posner, if I take Algebra and Living Environment Regents in 8th grade, do I have to take it again in 9th grade?
So the way that it works, you can take a placement exam, and we have 3 different options for you to take geometry as a freshman if you pass Algebra 1 and score high enough on the placement exam. We either have Geometry Honors for students who are prepared, we have Geometry Regents, and we have Geometry Extended. Our Geometry Honors course will be a little bit tougher and preparing you for a more rigorous program going forward. Our Geometry Extended is something that's going to take 1.5 years, and you can take a Regents exam during your sophomore year. Then we have our Geometry Regents, which would be on the 1-year track.
Sister Megan, does Alma need to take Regents?
Yeah, of course they do. Yes, we are a Regents-based school. So there are regencies that New York State has required for us to use if we're a Regent school. There's the Advanced Regents Diploma and the regular Regents Diploma. Many of our students do take the Advanced Regents option, but it's not necessary at all times.
So I'm going to follow up that little question. I'm guessing if I was a parent, which I am, there may be some questions around this year with Regents versus last year with Regents and those pieces. So we just wanted to clarify, really monitoring New York State Ed website is a great place. You can call us anytime and we're happy to give you updates. Right now, we're just being told that they are going as scheduled. So we have not gotten the word from New York State Ed that we will not be having Regents. We know that we are super fortunate here at Mercy that we're here 5 full days. Our girls are really in the minority when it comes to that, meaning we are getting our instruction as typically posed on a regular year, but we know that most students in most schools are not. And so the decision from New York State will be made probably based on the majority. So I would stay tuned. I would definitely make sure you're watching that website, listening to the updates, and we'll be able to determine, like we did last year, where some of the tests are exempt.
Ms. Mastrodi, does OLMA offer any college level courses?
Yes, so we do offer a number of AP examinations, so those are advanced placement courses, and we do offer college level courses that you can take and earn college credit through Malloy, and those would be through the Foreign Language Department and the English Department.
Along with our college courses, we also have an affiliation with St. John's University. So that's another option for our students, and that's college English as well.
Ms. Cerrone, and then maybe some of our students can chime in. This video mentioned that the concert band is after school. Does that conflict with clubs and athletic teams, such as swimming?
Well, fortunately for us, we try to work out all of those conflicts as best we possibly can. And our practices take place at Chaminade High School, and they are typically in the evenings. So the conflict after school is something that is rather seamless in regard to working out. The swim team does have a couple of land workouts, but we do try to work with the other departments to make sure that the opportunity for our students to be all in across all areas of the academy to have an amazing experience is something that's a priority.
I'm not sure about swim particularly, but I know that I'm on dance company and I also play sports, and I know that from experience from last year, I was able to figure out my schedule perfectly, and it never really conflicted. And everyone is very understanding if you ever have 1 or 2 conflicts, but you can always make it work depending on your sports team or your dance or whatever you have to do.
Ms. Mastrodi, what is the required amount of classes per semester?
Again, depending on your grade level, typically you are in class for 7 periods out of the day, if not 8.
Sister Megan, is Latin a language option?
We do have an online Latin class, and it's taught currently by Mr. Espinal. He works very diligently with the students. We have Latin 1 and Latin 2, and they can continue if that's necessary.
Ms. Hackett, do you have to put OLMA as your first choice to get a scholarship?
That's a great question. So no, you do not need to put OLMA first to receive a scholarship, but it is very important for you to take into consideration where you might feel most at home. And this question was answered a little bit earlier, so apologies for those who are hearing it for a second time. But we do feel that it's very important for you to take into consideration where you would feel most at home, and then put the order of your schools in that order from first choice to third choice. And I do want to mention too, while I have you, that we understand that some schools offer a regular 8th grade, math level. That's not a non-Regents class, right? So we understand that some schools are not in Regents classes in 8th grade in math and science, and some are. So we, as Mr. Posner explained earlier, we give you placement tests in those different subjects based on what you're taking this year, and then that will determine the class and then the level of the class that you will be in as an 8th grader. So if you're in non-Regents classes, you would start at Mercy with Algebra 1 Regents, and you would start with living environment, and then your placement exam would determine if you were in honors or regular, and that's the Mercy placement exam that you would take once you've registered and said, I'm in, I'm coming to Mercy next year. Then you come to Mercy and you take placement tests with us. If you're taking Algebra 1 and you're taking living environment as an 8th grader right now, and those are Regents levels, then provided you pass those Regents classes, then you would move into chemistry, regular or honors, and you would move into geometry, regular, honors, or you could do geometry extended. So there are some different opportunities, but I want you to really understand that we do it based off of what you're taking in 8th grade, provided you pass that class and the Regents if that is part of your plan, and also a Mercy-based placement test that we create to make sure that we place you in a class that will lead you to success in your first year transitioning into high school at Our Lady of Mercy.
So I just wanted to follow up for a second on the first part of that question with regard to our placement and putting your 3 choices down for a school. It's been a while since I was an 8th grade girl, but I do have a young woman in my house who was an 8th grader not too long ago, and I think about her beginning of her 8th grade year, and my guess is she probably had an idea from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, or maybe even younger if she had a lot of legacy in her house of where she wanted to go to school. I would really say that we purposely don't say if you don't put Mercy first, you won't get a scholarship or you can't come to school here, and here's why. Just like everything here at Mercy, you need to experience our school. We have many opportunities to invite you here. We're doing a lot of things this year differently, along with our virtual panels to get to know some of our students and really experience Mercy. So although some of you probably have your heart set on something, and I don't want to deter you completely from what you wanted to do your whole life, but I would say as you grow and you mature, you need to open your heart and your mind up to what is before you and really become an educated consumer. What is Mercy offering? What do we have that other schools don't have? And please keep in mind that we are not trying to put students in that lane. We're not trying to track our students just like we will when you select the school. We're keeping everything wide open, and we hope that your experience here at Mercy speaks for itself.
Mr. Posner, do you offer math extra help, and how often?
So under normal circumstances, every teacher in the math department does offer extra help at least 2 days a week, whether it's before school or after school. Under these circumstances, recently we've been using our virtual platform to offer extra help. So we can hold extra help over Google, usually either in the morning or after school, or depending on what the students' needs are and what is going on in that current class. But we do have a requirement within our department to hold extra help a certain number of times per week, in which every teacher in the department has exceeded that over the past few years to fit whatever the students' needs are at the time.
I just wanted to add, we also at Mercy have our wellness block, and there are several days during the wellness block that are open for office hours, where a student can sign up or email her teacher and say, I really need some review before this upcoming quiz or test. Likewise, we have a math tutor here on campus who is available to all of our students. This takes place after school and has been virtual all summer for the students that really needed review from last year and to get ready for this year. And we will have that math tutor again this year.
Ms. Mayan, can you explain who Catherine Macaulay is?
I'd be delighted to explain who Catherine Macaulay is. Catherine Macaulay founded the Sisters of Mercy. She was born and raised in Dublin, Ireland, and at a very young age, she decided that she really wanted to provide service to the poor and to educate young women. So her whole life was spent with that mission in mind, and she formed the Sisters of Mercy. And we currently have 54 Mercy schools that are part of the U.S. and Latin America, South America territory, and of course many on the international level. But I think one of the most interesting things about Catherine was the fact that she was a woman who was destined to make a difference for young girls so that they could grow up to have an education. She adopted her sister's children after her sister died. She fostered some children. A lot of times we don't think of her in any way other than being a sister of mercy, but she was a mom to family members and, as I said, foster children. It was that basis that I think really sets her as a role model for so many young women.
Ms. Mastrodi, this next question is for you, and maybe some students can chime in. Can you take dance for all 4 years or only the first year?
Yes, you can opt to take dance all 4 years, and that would count as your physical education requirement.
They offer dance and gym for every freshman, and so you get to decide, even if you were set that you wanted to take dance all 4 years, they let you experience the gym class so you know if you really do want to take dance for all 4 years, and then if you ever change your mind, it's okay, you can just switch classes throughout your 4 years at Mercy.
Ms. Cerrone, we have a couple questions regarding sports. When are sports tryouts?
Sport tryouts are set up by the league. Our fall tryouts usually begin in August. Under the extenuating circumstances we're experiencing now, everything is delayed. The schedule for the current year has not been laid out for the rest of the 2021 school year. But traditionally, our fall sports begin the last week in August. Our winter sports begin early November, and then the spring sports usually begin in March.
What is the maximum number of sports you're allowed to play?
That would depend on the season. We would love you to participate in as many sports as you feel necessary. But we have specific sports that are offered during each season. They are listed on our website if you want to take a look at that. But we certainly encourage everyone to be as engaged and as involved as they possibly can in our athletic program. We really encourage our student athletes to participate as much as they can.
And just one more question regarding sport practices. This is directed specifically for swim team, but I know this applies to all other sports as well. How is it as far as making practices, attending practices and all of that?
Well, attending practice is really important, and we do have a minimum standard that the league requires. That number is set at 10, so you must participate in 10 practices prior to our first competition. But being a part of a team, being a part of something bigger than yourself is really critical that you are present as much as possible. I think the two students that are on our panel this morning can attest to the incredible friendships and the bonding and the camaraderie and the school spirit that results as a result of being on a particular team. We also need you to be present and participating in practices so that you can become the very best version of yourself on that particular team. For you to be able to work on your strengths, but also your weaknesses. And by practicing each and every single day as scheduled, you will be able to become the very best student athlete that you possibly can be and contribute to the team at a high level.
Great. I know that there are probably more questions flooding in, and this is really an exciting time. So thank you so much for joining us. Please know we have 2 more sessions that if your question didn't get answered and you want to stick around, we're going to do 2 more live sessions. In the meantime, if you were here during this live session and one of our questions prompted you back to next steps for applications and admissions, those videos are going to remain on our website. Same with the overall comprehensive open house video is available. So thank you again for joining us. We can't wait to meet you, class of 2025. Our first question we have is, if you attended Mercy, or if you attend Mercy, what is or was the most impactful aspect of your experience? Ms. Mayan, I know that you're an alumni.
As I look back, I think there are so many wonderful memories of my experience here at Mercy, which frankly brought me to being in the position I'm in today. But aside from the wonderful educational background that I received, that really was the springboard to future opportunities, I think it's the lasting friendships and the fun and the opportunity to truly experience the Circle of Mercy with so many other young women that we all share the same wonderful experience and just really enjoy each other's company and keep those friendships for a lifetime.
So I know we have some other individuals, almost everyone here at Mercy has something to share about impactful aspects of their experience. I'm going to throw it all the way over to Ms. Hackett, who also attended Mercy.
So I'm lucky enough to be, as you may have seen in our opening video, I'm number 6 of a Mercy girl in my family. And so I started at Mercy by helping with my mom when she was volunteering with my older sisters. And that sense of community and that people want to know you started from a very young age. And I am so blessed to be a part of that community now, and I really want to get to know you. So I think that that is something that really was the reason for me to decide to come to Mercy as a student and to decide to work at Mercy now, is that saying that, you know, we like to remind you that you will be known is very true, and that we really get to know each other and get to know the students really well. I was able to coach Gianna last year with winter track, and it was really fun. And so there's just so many examples of how we get to know students on a personal level beyond, you know, our job descriptions. That's not something that we're focused on here. We really take into consideration all the opportunities to connect on an individual level.
Great. Next, a really easy one. Being at Mercy, I get to, Mr. Posner?
So being at Mercy, since it's such a close community, I get to really get to know every student on more of a personal level than some other schools would be able to. I also get to get involved in the school community in more ways than just the math department. For example, I'm able to coach the basketball and lacrosse teams, and it's really a school community in which everybody's able to be involved in all the things that they're passionate about, and we're encouraged to try new things and really get to know what about yourself that you really appreciate.
So Emma, what do you get to do at Mercy?
Here at Mercy, I get to experience many different things, including athletics and clubs. Like, I'm on the soccer team, and last spring, if COVID didn't come, I would have been on the lacrosse team, and I also dance. And so I'm on Mercy Dance Company, and I get to participate in as many clubs as I'd like to. And I really just get to express myself as an individual without worrying about anybody judging me, because everyone is so welcoming here.
Ms. Mastrodi, we have a question for you regarding some course selections. Can you take both band and art all 4 years?
So we do have a wide variety of courses that you can take to fulfill your interest or satisfy your interest in the arts, and that would be available to you, yes, all 4 years. So you can start as a freshman and then move it along and carry it through your senior year.
Sister Megan, you are always involved with student activities, clubs, arts, band. Is there anything you can say about being involved in multiple things at one time?
I would love to. There are so many different activities that are here. We have equestrian, we have swimming, we have arts. Band is an after-school program, so that's something that you can choose to do in between other clubs and sports. We have, currently we just did a student survey around clubs. We have an overwhelming interest in 25 of our more than 25 clubs right now. And it's really about time management and how are you going to plan your studies, plan your friendships, your wellness, and also stay active in the clubs and sports.
Yeah, that's a great point. So Sister Megan said that the W word being wellness, here at Mercy, wellness is something that we focus on every day. It's something our students get to participate in every day, and it's something that our teachers keep in the forefront of their minds when they're planning lessons. And Sister Megan's point to time management and what are we able to do and still say well and practice self-care is super important here at Mercy, and we're excited to learn that in the wake of COVID, that other schools are starting to emulate our wellness block and trying to put things in for girls and boys throughout Long Island so that all children are well. And that really is the overarching goal, that everyone has wellness opportunities from our 9th grade all the way up to every single adult that works in our building. So if anyone in this room has anything they'd like to contribute to their favorite wellness opportunity, I would love to hear about it.
One of my favorite wellness opportunities that I recently participated in was the different religious opportunities that they offer. There's adoration, there's rosary walk, and of course we have First Friday Mass and First Friday Chapel, which really helped me grow in my faith and deepen my relationship with Christ. So recently I took part in the rosary walk, which we get to utilize the beautiful 90-acre campus. We stopped at all the different statues, and I had the opportunity to lead everyone in prayer, which I found was really fun, and got to encourage my other peers to also participate and love Christ and also deepen their faith.
Recently, I also participated in the movement options. I did the open gym with Mr. Posner, and we played kickball, and it was just a really good experience because we got to get out during the middle of our day and just move around and have fun with our friends. And it just was a very good experience. It got us to relax if we had any tests that were coming up that we were stressed about, and it was just a lot of fun.
So I'm a little biased with my favorite wellness option, but my favorite wellness option is the wellness groups that we get to offer our students. And our wellness groups really are, they're delivered by your daughter's counselor, which I think is fantastic. And it really is a way that we start to empower our students to really think about themselves in a different way, to help them build their confidence, to think about their own self-awareness and how they're caring for themselves. So we really take a turn from the academics, which are really important, but then focus more on the social, emotional aspect of who they are as individuals. And to me, I think that is so valuable and so needed now. And I really think it's a great opportunity and a gift for all of our students to be able to really take some time out of their day to think about things that they might not have thought about, and thinking about what makes them well. And we really get into that in our classes, and I think that's something that they will carry with them, not only through Mercy, but as they grow into their adulthood as well. So that's my favorite wellness option.
Ms. Hackett, I have a question going to you. What percentage of applicants do you accept into the freshman class?
When we receive the exam results from the entrance exam, we really take a look at who is going to be successful at Mercy. So it's not something that we share with class percentages of acceptance rate, because it's not the same as you might think about a college acceptance rate. At Mercy, we really want to see as many girls succeed in Catholic education as we can, and so if we feel that you will be successful here, you're going to be accepted, and then the choice is yours for if you're going to come to Mercy or another Catholic school, or potentially stay in your public school. And I think that Ms. Betters would like to expand on this topic as well.
Absolutely. We really want to provide this all-girls wellness opportunity for every girl on Long Island that's interested in being here. Even when we do take a look at the entrance exams, and we do know that it's a test, and we were just talking about wellness. So for us to solely base your acceptance on one afternoon or one morning of your life, that wouldn't really make us great educators. So when we look at that entrance exam and we have questions, as Ms. Hackett just stated, that we're worried or we have a little bit of concern about how well you will do here, meaning will you be stressed? Will this rigor be too much for you? We reach out to you and your family and we ask those questions. We ask you for more information. Many times I will invite the student and the parents in to come have a conversation in my office. This year it'll probably be outside. But we really want to talk about what the best placement is. Further, we will ask for transcripts from 7th and 8th grade. There's an opportunity for recommendations. So as much as I know testing is part of our world, and it's not something that I can solely get rid of, even though it's something I'm looking at, I would like you to know that there are many things that go into admissions, so don't discount us because of your experience on that entrance exam.
Thank you, Ms. Betters. That kind of helped us lead into our next question for both Ms. Hackett and Ms. Betters. The question asks, what is the application process like, which we did touch upon, and are reference letters needed?
That is a great question, and I definitely encourage you to check out our next steps video, where Ms. Betters and I are standing in front of our beautiful tower, Our Lady of Mercy Academy, where we go through what we would like you to do for next steps. But I'm very glad that you brought up this question now. It gives me an opportunity to let you know that all students are considered for scholarships when you take that entrance exam. So you don't need to apply in any other way besides filling out the tax exam registration and listing Our Lady of Mercy as one of your 3 schools. And then if you would like to apply for financial aid or awards, or if you are following in your family's footsteps as I have, and you are another Mercy girl in your family, we do have legacy and current sibling awards. So if any of those financial situations connect with you, then we do have an intent to apply for financial aid, awards, or legacy. And you can fill that out on our portal under the financial aid tuition on the navigation bar. And then, so your next step would be make sure you're registered for the tax exam, and you can, the link is on our website under the Student Experiences tab. So register for the exam, fill out the intent to apply for financial aid or awards, and then you can also fill out the sign-ups for the Mercy student panels and the campus tours.
Great. The last piece I'll add kind of goes back to our entrance exam a little bit, but it's really more about our application process because it is a holistic process. For years, people have looked at Mercy as a place of great rigor. People that have held this up as an example for educating young women, and we're really proud of that. We do want to make sure that you understand that educating all young women doesn't mean just the student who is in 5 APs, just the student who is in all honors classes. Here at Mercy, we have a whole host of student services that are provided for students that do really, really well and students who need extra support. We have classes that are extended classes that give a student an opportunity to take a Regents class up to 1.5 years to complete that class and to take the test. We also have special education teachers here, and we have opportunities throughout our wellness block to support our students. So whatever your needs are as a student, please do reach out to us. We want to partner with you and make sure that your daughter is in the best place possible.
Gianna and Emma, can you talk about are students required to take dance freshman year and that whole process?
Yes, students are required to take dance, intro to dance freshman year. I took it, but then when you move on to sophomore, junior, senior year, you have the option of either staying with dance where you would go to a higher level, or you can choose gym.
Sister Megan, can you talk a little bit about dance freshman year and what that looked like for you as a student here?
My dance teacher was fortunate enough to let me know that the reason I passed dance is because I made everyone laugh with my attempt to dance. I can tell you that my ballet combination was a plie, plie, and pas bourrée. I do recall that still, it's ingrained in my head. And then, though I did continue on dances every other day, my freshman year you go off of PE. I did continue with PE. I was a little bit more successful in my PE classes than my dance classes. However, as an adult, I came back here and I won dancing with the teachers. I got first prize. So clearly it was my freshman year dance that allowed that to happen. I did the white foxtrot. Thank you, Ms. Betters, for bringing that up. You're welcome.
Ms. Betters, I have a question. Sorry. My daughter is currently taking algebra and biology in the 8th grade. If the Regents exam is not administered this year, how will this affect her course selection for 9th grade?
Great question. Great question. Big question for this year, for the class of 2024, because that's what happened last year. We were mentioning earlier in our session prior to this that although we're here at Mercy 5 full days and girls' days really look almost exactly like they did last year, other than we're spending a lot of time outside. Everyone has masks on. Our teaching and our learning is happening, but we are in the minority when it comes to those experiences. And New York State Ed will have to make decisions based on the majority of students in the state. So we're not really sure what's going to happen with those tests. What I can tell you is this year we took a look. We took a look at the 7th and 8th grade transcripts. We also worked with Mr. Posner, and we worked with Ms. Maritato, who was in our science department, to make sure that those students were ready. I can tell you that we will wholeheartedly make sure your daughters are in the right place. It really is a little bit of an unknown, and that's why we really want to emphasize how flexible we're being. If students end up being out of school from, say, the end of November, through the spring, it really will depend on what kind of content was covered, and we will have to calibrate next year in terms of, filling those gaps and making sure our girls are ready. And we're looking at that right now with this year's students. But if in fact the class was taught and the students are ready, they will move through just like they did this year. So girls that were slated to take the Regents exams last year are now sitting in geometry class.
Mr. Rohn, how competitive are sports team tryouts?
Well, before I answer that question, I just wanted to share some of the bragging rights that Sister Megan just mentioned about her dancing skills, because I and my dance partner, Coach Randy Todd, who's our varsity basketball coach, were the first ever Mercy Dancing with the Stars champions. And yes, we also competed in the foxtrot, and it was an overwhelming victory for us. So, Sister Megan, you're going to have to share the camera with that.
Two trophies.
Well, I was only given the opportunity to compete. Well, actually, I did compete in 2, but my dance partner was injured in the second one, or else perhaps I would have 2 as well. But getting back to the question in regard to how competitive are our athletic programs here at Our Lady of Mercy, I would have to say that the level of competition here is something that we look forward to growing forward. And our student athletes and the commitment that they provide and make in regard to those particular athletic teams is really important. It's more than just a game. It's really about the life lessons that our student athletes experience and the skill sets that they develop as student athletes, part of a program, part of something bigger than themselves, I think really matters most. I think the success of program will result based on the commitment that our student athletes make, that our coaches make to program, and really about that end product of that positive athletic journey, that positive experience that student athletes have.
So if I could just add on to the question about tryouts. So I'm lucky enough to coach the JV basketball team here and varsity lacrosse team. And we have had, since it's a smaller school setting, we have had so many opportunities for student athletes to pick up and try new things. And they have seen so much success on so many different levels of sports that they have never really tried before. And even with that, we have been able to be competitive with a lot of the schools that are significantly bigger than us. So this is definitely a school where you get to try new things and try new experiences and not have to worry as much about the size of the tryouts or the competitiveness of the tryouts, but more of what are you willing to experience and how much are you willing to step outside your comfort zone.
Ms. Hackett, and I think Ms. Betters, you can jump in on this too. Do you have to place OLMA in a particular spot for consideration for admission and/or scholarship when listing high schools on the tax?
That's a great question. And I really want you to take a minute to really think about where are you going to feel most at home next year? Where do you think you'll be most successful? Where will you be happiest? Because that's where you'll do your best, right? And so I really want you to take into consideration where you want to call home for the next 4 years, and that should be where you choose first on your entrance exam in your order. But with that, we will accept any student, no matter which number placement you put Mercy, as long as you are going to be successful at Mercy. So if you are admissible on the entrance exam, then you will be accepted to Our Lady of Mercy. But if you are, hoping about scholarships, your order on the list will be determined. That is something that we take into consideration. But definitely know that you will be permitted to attend Mercy no matter which order you put us on, as long as you're going to be successful here.
Great, and that's exactly right. We really do want you to consider, and as we were mentioning earlier today, what you're thinking about today has not been impacted by students coming to campus with their families, students being able to engage with our current student body on either virtual opportunities or where we get really lucky to be able to come to campus and actually be here. So although your decision may be someone like Ms. Hackett, who is the 6th Mercy girl in her family, and I don't know how she would have selected anywhere else, but there are other things to consider, so do put us down, do make us one of your 3 so we know that you're interested, but we're not going to put that pressure on you. We want you to make a great decision.
Ms. Mastrodi, does OLMA offer any college level courses?
Yes, so we offer a variety of college level courses. You can take, we offer courses through St. John's University, we offer courses through Malloy, we also offer different advanced placement courses in most of our disciplines.
So just to add on to that, in the math department, we offer 3 different AP courses. We have our Calculus AB, our Calculus BC, and our AP Statistics. We have students often take more than one AP course if that's an area in which they like to pursue, and I know most departments follow along in the same path where they have multiple AP courses where students get to really decide which field that they want to pursue.
Mr. Posner, one more for you, sorry. Do you offer math extra help, and how often?
So under normal circumstances, every teacher in the department holds extra help at least twice a week. It's usually, we'll have before school, after school. Now we offer extra help during our wellness block. Under our new circumstances, we also offer extra help virtually through Google Meets, both before school and after school, mostly by appointment. It's mostly based on what the needs of the students in the class are at the time, but we are all within our department required to hold extra help at least twice a week. And most recently, it's been virtual and during our wellness block.
Maybe perhaps some of our students would like to address the idea of extra help and your experience with that.
The teachers are always there for us, and they're always there to support us. And under normal circumstances, in freshman year, actually, I went to living environment extra help almost every morning. I had my mom drive me. I was having some difficulty, but Miss Ramos, who was there, she helped me so much and really helped me boost up my grade, and I did very well on the Regents. And it's really nice just to know that the teachers are always there to support us, and anytime you have a question, even if it's something small, you can either see them, like get to class early and ask them right after class, and they're always willing to help you.
Going along with what Gianna said, yeah. So last year, I know for a fact that there were a lot of times where, depending on my course, if I had a test that day, or even if I didn't, if I just had a question, I'd just go to my teacher's room before school, and I knew that they were always going to be there to answer my question, and I didn't have to worry about them turning me away. And even if they were not there in the morning, you could go to them during wellness, you could email them, they're always there to answer any questions that you have.
And I also just wanted to add to, because these are great questions too, to know more about our different courses that we offer. And so we did link on the student experience tab of the admission portal. There is the course curriculum guide, which will detail all of the classes that are offered within each department. And it also lists the prerequisites. So you can kind of get an understanding of what classes, you could be taking at Mercy. And if you have any questions, you can always start with me, or you can, email some of the teachers from that department. But I'm also happy to forward the question, along to the right department if you have some specific questions regarding different classes.
Sister Megan, is there a late bus for girls if needed?
Yes. The late buses, yes, we have late buses that come at 5 o'clock. It all depends upon your district. So not all districts do provide a late bus. You can certainly email Mr. Booty to find out if your district does. Some districts require 4 students to be signed up for that late bus. So again, that goes all according to the district that you belong to.
Great. So again, in next steps, you can see more information regarding if you have not signed up for our entrance exam. If you have any of these questions, there's actually a very specific place to look at transportation and Mr. Moody's contact information, so you're all set there. We are so grateful you decided to join us today. If your question did not get answered, we have one more live session coming up here shortly. You're always welcome to email any one of us. I know that on the website today, Ms. Hackett has linked everyone's contact information that's either in a video or in a panel. So if you want to follow up on any of our responses and you had a real specific question to your daughter, please do reach out to us. Please don't assume that we aren't ready to handle any situation that you want to bring our way. We're really excited to meet all of you. So again, good luck on the process. I hope that you find the best place possible for you and your daughter, and we can't wait to meet the class of 2025.